wild, man. Wild.
Guess right now we start the show. Are you ready?
I thought so.
Joining me here on the TRS podcast is Monique. She is the Her from the band Her. What's going on, Monique? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I am the Her. I am the only Her in the band Her.
You are. It's kind of like an Abbott and Costello routine, but it's not. You are literally the only Her in Her. So.
I mean, that's how the name came about. So, everybody would just always go up to the guys in the band and say, "Who's your lead singer?" Before we play and stuff, and they would just go, "Her." So I'm like, "Guess what, guys?" I was 14 at the time, but I'm like, "Guess what, guys? That's the name of the band."
Did the guys have other names in the works? Do you remember any of the names that they had suggested before Her became Her?
I mean, we were going through. I mean, there were so many band names. I had Concubine. There was just tons of rock. Going through the band. What should we name our band? I mean, especially when you're, 14, living in the grunge era.
Right.
You had to be as grungy and that you can be. And then it just came about of like when we're in the middle of finding names and people would just go up to the guys. Of course, they look like a band. And they would just say, "Who's your singer?" And they would just always point to me and go, Her. I'm like, I have a name, but cool. Guess what? So, yeah, there it is.
Well, is it because, you're a very attractive woman. Was it because maybe guys were a little intimidated because you're a very strong, figure on stage, very empowered as a woman? Or guys maybe intimidated to come up to talk to you maybe in the early days of the band? Or?
I mean, I don't know. I hope not. I mean, I was just, cargo pants, wallet chain, Vans wearing, girl. So I don't think, there was any kind of intimidation, but, I don't know, maybe. I mean, obviously at the time, probably my fans or, friends of mine that were into my band were 14 as well. So they were just probably shy,
Right.
They were shorter than me, I'm sure. Like all boys are at 14, shorter than the girls.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I probably looked like I was, 25 to them, but, yeah.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I think I'm more shy now in my older age than I was in my teens. For whatever reason, I'm more reserved now. Now I'm more like I just want to go to a show and get me behind the camera and I just kind of float around and do my thing. But it's funny. We actually met about, I would say, a little over a year ago. You were playing at the new Cowan. It had just opened up. Maybe a couple months. You guys were opening up for Red Sun Rising, and the Dead, I think, were also on that bill as well. They've been on the podcast several times and as well. But that was the first time we had met. And after the show, I went up to you and I was like, "Hey, my name is Ryan." We kind of did a quick introduction, and you had given me the last album, which is Chain Reaction, I believe. So talk to me about it as far as like the musical difference from Chain Reaction to this new album, Black and White. Was there a fundamental difference as far as style or approach as far as songwriting is concerned?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a difference in style. I mean, I don't even know what style is these days. I mean, I just listened to the radio today and I wanted to vomit on myself because I don't know what I was listening to, but it has nothing to do with anything else. Just had to make that point. No, what we did with this record, Black and White, though, that definitely took a different approach. Instead of writing, usually I would go write, some lyrics on my own, and then Caleb, who writes a lot of the music with me and also is the producer, he also plays guitar in the band, he usually does a lot of the production work, and we would come together. For this new album, Black and White, we just, as a band, all just got into the studio, and I told everybody, I was like, don't bring me your ideas because I don't want any preconceived ideas. I don't want any thoughts. I really just want to drink a couple cocktails, have a couple shots of whiskey, and let's just play. And we just played right into Pro Tools. So, we had it recorded. I also recorded on my cassette tape because I always just like to go to basic stuff just in case there's a glitch in technology. But yeah, for this record, we just wrote it all together in one room and also pulled in some friends of ours from different bands, local bands in Nashville, just said, hey, come over, grab a bass or do whatever. Let's just play, and I'll just hum some melodies and listen back and put some words to it. So it was definitely a different approach, something I've never done before, because I usually think about the album and stuff like that. And this time I was like, go, let's just do it.
Well, I think sometimes at least as far as like the creative process, it's easy. I think sometimes it's easier and a little more fulfilling just to not have. So you overthink things, right? I know I do all that all the time. Where I'm like, I have something, I have an idea that I want to do, and I'll think about it for like, I don't know, 3 days or a month or whatever the case is, and then like by the time I get to it, it's I've exhausted myself about the idea, and it never comes out the way I think it should. So I think just going in and just doing it and being relaxed and having it come naturally, I think is a good way to go about it. And I think it played well too. I was at the album release show at the High Watt, I guess almost a month ago now, but it seemed like a lot of the new songs played really well for you live in front of the crowd. We had a great turnout as well. Did you get a chance to kind of test a lot of those songs out, like on the European tour? I know you were in Europe, the back end of 2018, maybe 2019.
We actually released the album in Europe first, and just had like hard copies. We didn't release it digitally due to label issues and all that stuff, but we had hard copies of vinyl and the CD. And we went in the winter this year and just said, let's just play. We did like 35 shows or something in like 38 days, and said, let's just play the new album. Playing it every day. And of course, because we were all in the room together writing it, it wasn't something that needed like tons of rehearsals and anything like that. We rehearsed putting a show together, but other than that, it's like everybody played their parts that come naturally to them. So it wasn't like, okay, now you got to learn this and learn that. It was like, just do what you did on the record. And so we played in Europe, tested the album out. We had a blast doing it. So we liked it, and then I definitely wanted to make sure we brought it to, to here and to Nashville, and just wanted to, play it in a place where probably people understood more of the lyrics than they did in Germany. So maybe we get a different reaction. But we definitely tested it, and we're psyched for it. We think it's fun, and of course, right now we're writing a new record, so Black and White is kind of fun talking about it. And I'm like, wait, I got this other record though coming out in a couple months. So
okay.
I'm constantly, we're constantly, trying to write, just be on the heels of the next thing. So that's what we're working on now.
Now, as far as the Black and White album, do you have favorite tracks? Does it change, when you go out and play, 30, 40 plus shows of these new songs? Obviously, it feels good to play new material, but is there certain songs that maybe you gravitate towards more that you're like, man, I didn't know this was going to play really well live. We played it live and the crowd loved it. Is there certain songs that you love more playing live off this album than maybe opposed to others?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how pretty much we picked the single, because we didn't have a single for it or anything yet. And we really wanted to play it in front of people and see what songs they kind of gravitated to and what songs we really enjoyed playing and had a fun time doing. So there's a song called Break Me on there that we just loved playing live. Every time we were in Europe playing it, we recorded it. We actually made a music video, just kind of like a streety ghetto music video for it, and we were like, wow, this is kind of the song people are loving. This is the song we're having a lot of fun doing, that we're kind of like always bringing up this song or saying, hey, let's do a video for it. So that kind of became my favorite song. But it varies, different days, different shows. I'll be in a different mood and be like, oh man, I love this song, or I really want to play this song at a show. And so it definitely varies, but the song "Break Me," which is our single now, is kind of my favorite, and I guess that's why it became a single. I had full control on that.
Nice. Well, that's always nice too, because sometimes we end up talking to people and they're like, "Well, we like this song, or we wanted to put this song on the album, and the label didn't want us to do it." And they get into that whole juggling aspect of it as well. So I'm sure it's very nice to have control over what you're doing and what's going out. And now, as far as the video is concerned, do you have a release date for the video as of yet, or?
Yeah, the video's out on YouTube already.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's out there. Yeah, it's out on YouTube. I'm definitely not someone that does these big, like, coming soon, 2 days left, 1 day left, we're going to release this. I just kind of put it out there. I'm like, look, the hype machine. I'm just like, forget about the hype machine. Everybody's hyping up the whole world. It's like with the social media now, you can hype up anything. I could hype up, my dog. go and go. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just put it out. Boom. Let people search it, and there it is. It's out there, So yeah, so Break Me is out there on YouTube already, so you can check it out.
Right on. Now, hyping. People can hype up anything on social media. Like, I'm cooking dinner in like 5 hours. Grill is starting.
Right.
We're firing up the grill in 5 hours. Check it out on Instagram. You can hype up anything anymore.
I know. Yeah, I know. So I'm like, and obviously, of course, that's what it would be. It would be like, I remember doing, music videos coming out and be like, in 2 weeks or something great's happening, guys. Get ready. And then I'm like, guess what? In 5 minutes, I totally forgot about what I was talking about. And I'm just pretty much hyping up my own self and whatever. I'm like, so no more hype machine. Let's just, put the videos out. Put the album out. I didn't even hype up the album when it was going to be released or anything. I was like, boom, tomorrow the album's out. That's it. I think that's the attention span I get from people. I just got to give them that 24-hour window. Like, tomorrow a new album's coming out. That's it.
I'm right there with you. Like, doing the show as long as I've been doing it now, and like, it's weird to. I'm not really that type of person be like, oh, I have new material coming out. Obviously, I do the best I can with it, and like a lot of like other shows and stuff. And I'm not gonna name any names here or anything, but it's a lot of clickbait and just garbage where like they'll have some kind of headline or something, and you click on it, and it has nothing to do with what the headline reads or even what they're pushing or hyping up or whatever, and it drives me absolutely insane.
The worst.
And I can't say that, and that's something I was like, man, if I'm going to do this, we've been doing it for 5-6 years now, and I think we've been pretty successful, I guess, doing the show, and it's like I don't want to be that media outlet that does clickbait and all that stuff. That's just not how we do things. I like, hey, if it's there, you want to listen to it, cool. We have people that like, they're like, well, binge watch stuff. They're like, oh man, I listened to like 4 episodes the other day at work and it was great, and it was like, cool, thank you for checking it out, but I'm not gonna entice you with bullshit just to get you to listen,
Right, exactly. I mean, like the worst thing, and I've learned this as an artist and stuff, but the worst thing is if you trick your audience or trick your fans or trick your friends. It's just like you just lose them. And I watch it, I see other people do it, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that, because the last thing you want to do is insult your fans. So I've kind of made sure to not trick them, not say, hey, do this, do that. It's just like, look, if you want to check it out, check it out. If you don't, cool, no worries, no harm done.
Yeah, I think more and more people who are interested in, you mentioned obviously the FM radio thing, and it drives me nuts. And there's stations here in town. I think they do the best they can with what little tools they're given to help the music scene here. But anytime I'm listening to some FM channels, I go, man, it's the same. It seems like I can't tell the difference between one's band to the next. They all have the same like math formula as far as production value, and I can't tell them apart.
Oh, I know. Hence my comment earlier in the interview of like, I don't know. I was just listening to the radio earlier, and I was like, I don't know what genre I'm listening to. I don't know what station it is. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like
banjo
rock revival or some shit at 2:00. Like I don't know what the hell it is.
Exactly.
But, well, getting back on track here now, as far as the band itself, obviously, they did the album release show here at Highwatt, did the European tour. Are you guys heading back to Europe this year, or are you doing some U.S. states here?
We have a couple U.S. dates, a couple festivals coming up, but mostly, we have. So our actual album, Black and White, officially becomes released in the fall through 7 US Records. So we're going to go back in the fall to support the album for real. We kind of just test drove it, I want to say, in a couple months ago when we were there. But we have to do the official release and, go hit some of our favorite countries and stuff like that. So we will be back in Europe for another 2 months later this year. And then we'll do some festivals in Europe, and we'll do some festivals here in the States. I don't know, like we've toured the States for 6 years in a van and done all that stuff. And it's just different from Europe. And I don't know if I'm just jaded or what it is, but it's really difficult for a band to tour in the States and not play covers, not be asked to play covers, but also have like people coming to the shows and supporting and all that without that like trick and bait that we were talking about,
Yeah.
So the festivals are a great way to just get out there and just play with a bunch of bands and support each other. But to hit these like little local mom and pop bars in each little town and do that, it's difficult. I know every band I know in this town, it's tiresome. It's kind of like either you have to play 3 hours with covers, or, you can play a couple originals. You won't make a dollar unless you sell merch, or how many people can you bring and all that. And so it's tough. And in Europe is a whole other thing. They do tons of street teaming, tons of promotions. And, clubs are always packed with people. I don't know why, the States can't get down with that. But it's weird. So yeah, we don't have tons of dates that show up in the States. We just kind of pick and choose some fun festivals or some fun shows that friends are playing on, some, like the Deads or whatever, like, other bands around town. Like, oh, let's do a show together. So that's pretty much what we have planned for this summer going into fall.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like the whole pay-to-play thing, and you got to sell tickets, and you're playing in Iowa or somewhere, some small town somewhere. Nothing against any of those towns by any means. I don't want people, to be messaging me on Twitter and stuff. They're like, hey, what's wrong with Iowa or some shit. But like we love it over there, and I know so many bands that want to go play over there, and we would love to play over there. It's just the clubs, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough for, I guess, clubs to draw in people that don't know your music. Radio will play your music for about a week or two because you're coming into town. Other than that, then you're just battling with massive, bands. It's like, look, I can't battle with Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. Like, I get it, Right.
Play Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. That's what people want to hear when they're driving. So, it's just a weird time, I guess, for, local bands or just bands, playing around. It's, getting on a tour and stuff like that is kind of, where it's at, or, playing, doing shows with a bunch of friends, band friends, and putting those shows together. But other than that, like we have done the in the van with the trailer, show to show and kind of thing. And it's like, I don't want to, get those requests for those covers. I'm like, no, I'm going to kill my soul is dying slowly if I play these covers, like it's a slow death.
What's your least favorite cover that you've played that you just absolutely hope that in life you never have to play again?
I love rock and roll. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just, yes. And I get that all, like, people always request that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a great song. I'm like, it's,
right.
That's the soul that's like slowly deteriorating in me of singing I love rock and roll.
Oh, see, that was gonna be my surprise. You playing it acoustic to close the interview out. That's shot to hell now.
Right?
Thanks. I appreciate it. Damn it.
Yeah, if you want to, like, by the end, just be like, and her soul died.
Her soul died.
And that was it. She sold her soul to the devil of I love rock and roll.
The next time you see me out at a show in Nashville, you stab me in the kidneys, from behind. I'll completely understand. It's okay.
Exactly. It's all your fault.
Well, Monique, it's been a pleasure to talk with you and get to know you a little bit here this afternoon. I appreciate you cutting some time out. Is there anything you want to say in closing before I let you run here?
No, just thanks so much. People can check us out at theinfamousher.com, or you could just go to her.rocks. Obviously, all the socials and all that stuff. And, we hope people check out the music video, the new album, Black and White. And if we're playing around town or wherever is local to whoever's listening, we hope to see you at a show. And don't request I love rock and roll, because I might just sing it and I might just kill myself. No, I'm just kidding.
What we should do is we should get together and we should try to Weird Al Yankovic that song together. And then you can start playing that cover, and then people will be like, wait a second, is that what I think it is? And then, we can find some like weird, like odd sexual innuendo things, that people have to look up on Urban Dictionary to figure what the hell you're talking about.
Dude, you have my juices flowing right now. Don't hit me, because I do crazy stuff like that, and like you just may get an MP3 sent to you in the next couple of days.
I love it. Yeah, I do that with songs all the time. My son always looks at me, he's like, really, Dad? And I'm like, what? I was like, isn't that how it goes? He's like, oh, never mind. Right. My wife's the same way. She I do the same thing. Like a Chili Pepper song will come on and I'll like completely change the lyrics to it, and she goes, how long have you been working on that? And I'm like, oh, it just came to mind right now. It just seemed to fit, But
I mean, while you're talking, I'm already thinking, like, what rhymes with rock? What do I love? I love. Okay, I got it. Don't worry, it's coming at you. And yes, let your mind go there.
I totally went there, and I was like, I'm gonna have to sign up for that new hymns thing. All of a sudden, they've been advertising like crazy, you know. But it's only $5 a month, guys. Come on. But anyway,
there you go.
All right, well, Monique, it's a pleasure, talking with you. Thanks for your time. Hopefully, you had a good time here on the TRS podcast, and look forward to catching you out and about town here in Nashville.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Yes, we'll do. It is her here on Revelator.